Hello, I'm Rob Westervelt, editor of Chemical Week, welcoming you to the 2019 GPCA Forum. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Mutlaq Al Morished, who is CEO of TASNEE. Mutlaq, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
A lot of focus at the sessions and at the conference today on the structural and the cyclical changes that are changing in the industry, particularly in the Middle East. How is TASNEE responding there? How have you changed in response?
Excellent question. TASNEE is a kind of conglomerate with chemical and titanium dioxide and metal foundries in Dammam and titanium sponge in Yanbu. So we're a quite diversified company. We make pipes in Hail and we make all kinds of plastic car batteries in Riyadh. Our response, the company really went through a major restructuring back in 15, 16, 17. We did really basically a classic case of a Stanford Business School. We first restructured the company itself by reducing our overhead, reducing staff, reducing offices, reducing things. Then we moved into restructuring our debt, and we have changed. Our debt used to be most of it short-term debt. We changed it to medium to long-term debt. Then we start really restructuring our capital, basically. So what we did, we have since last year, we merged our Crystal strategic business unit with that of Tronox, a listed company in New York. And we, for cash and equity, we own 26.5% of the combined entity under Tronox, a New York listed company. And we got $1.673 billion in cash, which we paid to the bank to deleverage the company. So now we're out, much stronger and much better, and a really fit for a fighting and growth mode in the future.
Right. And I guess as part of that, there's a particular focus on downstream and petrochemicals. And how are you going to carry out those plans?
TASNEE really started its life almost 30 years plus in the downstream. Did not make a lot of money. It made, but really didn't become big until TASNEE actually moved upstream. TASNEE built a PDH unit, polypropylene, then got into a cracker and polyethylene and polypropylene and acrylic complex. So the company really grew. And so that's the company became big. We are big in downstream. I said we have foundries. We make axial for 18-wheeler trucks. We make car batteries. We make milk bottles and chocolate wraps. We make all kinds. But remember, money in our industry is made upstream. If you look at the total EBITDA of our industry in the Gulf, it's about $127 billion US dollars as of 2018. If you look at that, 30 billion of that is really coming from the upstream. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. Money is made upstream and you start go down as you go down the chain. Unless you're really very specialized player in the field, which is very few of those around.
Good. Also a lot of attention at the event around sustainability. What is TASNEE's approach there?
We are actually in sustainability way ahead of anybody. Take example, our car acid lead batteries. Saudi Arabia does not have a lead mine, but we actually make 30,000 tons a year of lead. Where we take all the dead batteries, we recycle them, we crush them, we recover the lead through lead smelter. Then we take the plastic and actually return it again into our conversion facility on the same site. And the same battery be born again and have a new life back in the market. And the chain and the circle continue. So we are very committed in that arena.
Okay. And obviously you have a big presence in polyethylene and polypropylene.
We are.
How are you reacting to the challenges around plastics? What strategies are you employing there?
Look, I come from a scientific background, financial background. The problem is not the plastic. The problem is us, the human. We take it and throw it away. If we just stop throwing away the plastic in the seas and in the streets and the deserts and put it in a proper way container and recycle it, we will solve 99% of the problem. So I think biggest issue with the plastic now we're talking about is really the education. We need to educate the public through the kindergarten and the schools and all the way how to dispose properly of the plastic. Like I said, we are a converter as TASNEE. We actually take waste plastic from batteries and from others and return it back. in a form of almost virgin resin or semi-virgin resin, and we recover it and it's sold. Basically, it starts another life. So I think it's the problem can be solved, but it cannot be solved by one side, like a producer or converters. It has to be a society as a whole. It must work together. If you go to Europe, I happen to have a place in Germany, they have specialized containers where you can separate your garbage. There is for metal, and there is for glass, and there is the plastic. So, you can do that. But unfortunately, that's not very common around the world.
A question on 2020. 2019 was a challenging year with slower GDP growth,
Absolutely.
Some tensions.
Absolutely.
What are you expecting for 2020?
Well, to be honest, I think 2020 is going to be another tough year, like similar to 19. We see a lot of capacity coming in Asia, in America. Demand is sluggish. Even China is sluggish. Everybody now doing their budget. And it's no secret that everybody being very, very conservative. And, that's the way it should be. We are a conservative industry at the end of the day. But we hope, with our reading of the future, if you have a crystal balling, is probably towards the second half of 2020, we should see some improvement. Again, it's going to depend on also this unfortunate dispute between America and China on the trade dispute. If they get resolved, these noises you hear from different quarters of protectionism and tariffs and taxes. So we hope the world will go back with the free trade and free movement of goods, and things will be much better. But for 2020, I think it's going to be a tough year in the beginning. If we're lucky and the trade dispute get resolved between America and China, we probably could see a small improvement back to things. But it will not be back to like 2018, which was a good year. Yeah. I think 20 more or less going to be around 19, basically. Thank you, sir. Thank you.